It's been a while, so this week I kind of wanted to get back into it nice and easily because I'm just back from my trip across Europe for the last 4 months. So I sat here trying to figure out what I was going to do for a really long time and then decided to just get stuff out and start playing. And that's how I break out of my cycle of being uninspired. So I'm just going to start playing and see what happens. So I pulled out this Studio Calico journal kit. It has this nice wood grain pattern on it. And it's basically just all the guts of a book. And it lets you create your own book. And so that's what I'm going to do. And I also pulled out my April Studio Calico kit, which I'm a subscriber and have been for more than a year now. And I was really excited to get back and get to my kits that had been building up here while I was away. So I have this, and then I grabbed my April Studio Calico kit, which is here, and I also got one of the add-ons, but they're all sold out right now. So I made sure to only grab things out that I knew that I could link to. So that, yeah, you can see this, but this kit is really great and I can't wait to play with it more. So right now, before I start my project, I'll just show you what I have on my desk. I have a paint dauber by Ranger, and it's in gold, and I'm probably going to paint this gold. I think that'll be cool. And my end goal here is to create a goals journal, because that's what I'm all about right now, is my goals and reaching them and kind of making new goals. So this is going to be a goals journal that encourages me to reach my goals and will give me a place to plan for them. I also grabbed the Pretty Party 13 fabric and epoxy brads by Crate Paper. These are also from the kit. The exclusive mini mono stickers by Basic Gray. Although these are an exclusive pattern, they have these in other colors still available, or you could just substitute any kind of thickers or stickers for this. So I really liked this color though, so I decided to grab it from the kit. These K & Company Smash pockets. I'm not even sure if I'll end up using these, but I really like them, so this one would be super cute. The others wouldn't fit so well in this book, but I'm definitely planning on using them. And then I have this Dilly Dally Hello wood die cut from My Mind's Eye, the Miss Caroline collection. So this would be really cute on something, once again, don't really know. And washi tape from Freckled Fawn. And I grabbed a scrap of fabric that I can use as binding. I wanted to use a fabric from Studio Calico, but none of the ones that I had were really quite what I was looking for. So I just grabbed some fabric. I also grabbed some muslin just in case after I decorate the cover, this isn't what I want anymore. So first I'm going to start out by just painting this because I know it's going to need to dry for a while. So this is what you get in the kit. You get this really cool graph paper. It's a notebook. It has glue on one end, and then the chipboard cover, and then the plain chipboard cover. So you have to bind it yourself, but it's not like you have to make sure every page is connected to each other. You just need to bind these three things together. So I'll probably do that as one of the last things I do. So now I'm just going to start applying my paint. And this is a really old paint dauber, so it would take forever for me to actually squeeze it through the tip. So I'm actually going to take my craft mat. Okay, just kidding. I don't know where my craft mat is right now. I'm still in the process of unpacking, so I don't know where a lot of stuff is right now. But it's more important for me to just make a video and get it out there than it is for me to find my craft mat right now. So I'm just using a piece of packing paper, and I'm just gonna glob the paint right on there. This is a complaint I hear a lot about paint daubers. They're really nice for applying paint, but sometimes over time they get kind of crappy. Like as far as like the whole valve system, it's paint, it dries and it cracks. So I just take the lid off and then use the paint dauber like it's supposed to be used, and problem solved. So I'm just going to cover this and then let it dry and charge my camera battery because it's dying. But you know what? I'm back and it feels good. Okay, my paint is pretty dry to the touch, and I'm going to actually paint the edges of this back piece as well, just using whatever I have left on my thing, because I'm going to cover these with some pattern paper, but I want to make sure that it feels like it keeps a consistent feeling all the way through the book. So I'm just going to do that really, really light coat. I don't want to wait forever for this to dry. And you don't need a ginormous coat of paint for it to look similar to the front cover. Okay, and now that I have the paint mess done, I'm going to take away my painty piece of paper and then let these kind of chill out and dry. And then while I'm doing that, I'm going to go ahead and start cutting down my piece of paper. Now it says right here that the journal is 4x8, but dimensions are never really true, whether they intended it to be that way or not. Like, it'll be almost exactly 4x8, but I'm going to cut it a little bit big and then cut it down. And in order for that to happen, I'm going to need to cut this a little bit so that we won't be able to get 3 pieces out. So I'm going to have to use a different piece of paper for one of the sides of the back, probably. Which means, though, that we can use some of this really nice inside part, which I really, really like. So I'm just going to go ahead and trim a little bit in here and then cut 2 pieces that are like 4 1/4 by 8 1/4, just to give me a little bit extra room to play with. And then I'll use my X-Acto knife to trim it down exactly as big as I want it to. I've cut down these pieces of paper now, and I just trimmed down, I trimmed it down like this, and then this part is left over from the bottom over here. And I just trimmed off the little white edge, and now I have a piece that's 3 1/2, almost 4 by 8 1/4. So I can just add something along the border or the bottom, or even cut this piece down like right here and then add something right here to decorate the inside. So I think that's, or the back. No, I think I'll do it on the inside. I don't know. I'll decide once I get that far. I'm not that far yet. I'll do the blue on the inside here, and then the blue on the back, and then the yellow on the inside. Well, this part. So I'll figure that out. Yeah, I think I like that the best. I don't know, I'm still having issues. Regardless, I'm just gonna do it. Just gotta commit. Just gotta commit. So I'm just gonna glue it down. And I'm actually gonna adhere the cardstock to this piece. So I'm going to take some of my really, really heavy duty tape, and this stuff is awesome. It's Sookwing tape. You can buy it at Simon Says Stamp now, and I'll link to it on my blog post, of course. And I'm going to just make the edges as sticky as possible, and then it will hold my paper there. Okay. Now, what I'm actually going to do, and I found that this is the best way to do it, is to lay this piece down on top of this piece, because then you can center it. It doesn't need to be perfect. Just try to keep it kind of straight, and then it'll look fine. You can even brayer it if you want to. I'm just going to use a bone folder. So yeah, so we have that. Now you just have to use your handy dandy X-Acto knife, and you could just go straight up against this cardboard, but I do not trust myself with that, so I'm going to use my metal edge ruler to protect my fingers and my chipboard, and to protect that wonderful gold edge that we spent so much time on. Okay, now next, this is going to be the back piece. And I want my back to be able to be kind of durable. So I think the blue just works the best for the back, because if it's the yellow, it's going to look dirty and stuff like that. So we're going to put some more adhesive down here and then stick this down to the yellow part so that the blue part shows on the back. And now for the inside, you see I have the back covered. I'm going to adhere this down here, and I'm going to have like exactly, okay, let's see, it's 4 inches, so I'm going to have exactly a third covered by just this extra scrap that I had. So that's about 1 1/3 inches. So we'll just make it a little bit bigger to pretend that it has more presence. So we'll make it 1.5 inches. It's okay to go to the nearest measurement if you're not wanting to guesstimate what 1.3 inches is. So now that I have that cut to 1.5 inches, I'm actually going to lay this piece down first and then lay this one over the top of it, because this is the one I want to have it be, this corner is the corner, and because of the specific placement it needs to be placed first. So I'm going to go ahead and add my adhesive like I have this whole time, just going around the edges first. And it's okay that I'm just going to go all the way around the edge, so some of this will be still exposed after I add this down. I just need to compensate for this by adding another piece of adhesive right about here where the paper ends, and that will make sure that everything's secure. So I'm going to go ahead and secure this first piece. I want to make sure this corner and this corner match up, you see? So I'm just going to go in as close as I can, and I'm still going to leave a little bit of room for me to cut off, just so I can make sure it's really tight and snug up against there. But you just need to focus on getting it straight. And there we go. So now we have this. Put this down. And before we even trim it, I'm just going to go ahead and add the other piece. So I'm going to add the book tape this time to this top edge. And then along these edges as well. Actually, I'm just gonna kind of eyeball it. Yeah, I'm just gonna go in a little bit from the edges here and then add some going vertically. And now we're gonna stick it down this time. It's very important to line it up straight because this line will really show. So you just need to keep it, as long as one edge is straight, all of the edges will be straight. So just make this edge parallel all the way across, and then when it looks pretty centered, just set it down. And that should be fine. Don't worry if the edges don't line up, it still works off the page. So we're going to be trimming it. Okay, and then just go in with your ruler and trim all the way around. Alright, so now we have that all set and ready to go. And just to finish everything off, I have my Tim Holtz sanding block here. And I'm not going to be sanding the edges, but I think I will go in and add a little bit more paint around the edges just to finish it off. I'm going to sand just the paper, so I'm going at a 45-degree angle. And I'm just making the edge nice and smooth, so it's smooth to the touch. It feels really finished then. Kind of gets rid of that sharpness that the X-Acto knives leave. So I'm just going to go all the way around my back cover, especially on both sides, and then the front cover, just the inside cover. And then I'll be back once these edges are all finished off. Alright, so we have my covers done. You can see I added a little paint around the edges, just a really light coat with my paint dauber. And they're all fine and finished off, and everything's really smooth.